Hello, this is level designer Zolan McCall, and my level takes place in some forest mountain areas. Um, Through this, we will be adventuring some abandoned areas, including this cabin right here, and I had some fun designing that. Now, this trail will also lead you on a path, and along this path you will also find like that campfire right there, and here's another one. And the player will be following the path, uh, just kind of going along with the foliage and everything around. And he will also be following the vines up that rocky area and continuing with following the vines up this area and going by that campfire right there, going through here, rocky area for the mountains, and up here, and of course following the vines all the way through the jumps. And here you can take a look back at what you just conquered and everything. Right up here we have this town, which was really fun to do, and the path will continue leading you through here, except for there's rock blocking the path, and those vines show that you're supposed to get up there, and these vines show you how. So they lead you up here, and you can kind of see that mansion up there. You'll kind of get a better view of it in a little bit, but this shows the vines there show you're supposed to jump across there, and this all leads into the library, which I had a lot of fun decorating all of that, and yeah, putting all those books there and everything was a lot of fun. So the path kind of continues and everything, as you just saw there. Uh, I love being able to just look back on everything that you just conquered and everything. But this is the little lake where it's just so peaceful and everything. And you follow these vines up these rocks and everything. They lead you up here to the mansion. Now there's that fence there as another breadcrumb, and yeah, you can see the next level, but you can't get there yet. So you have to go through the mansion where, again, I had a lot of fun with decorating everything, putting each of the little pieces in there and everything. And yeah, it just gives you a sense of, this is where I'm supposed to be. There's been people here before, but there's, everything like that. Now from here, that tree kind of shows you how to get down into level designer Ryan Beats' level.
We see the player explore ancient ruins where people of ages past have built upon the foundations of those who came before, but even these constructions are now ancient. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here and talk about one area of improvement because it's actually right here at the beginning. Originally, I had the player just coming through the door here, but it left some empty, unused space off to the side, so instead we opened up a crack in the wall, allowing the player the chance to climb through instead, making things a little more exciting, and then throwing the wall leaves on there to draw the player's eye. The idea of this area, this town and temple, was to create a place that feels old and crumbling, but still possesses a sense of scale and grandeur. A lot of my inspiration came from games like Dark Souls, Skyrim, or the Legend of Zelda series, where you explore ancient places long past their prime, but they still maintain an atmosphere that inspires wonder and challenges the player with twisting and labyrinthine spaces. One of the breadcrumbs I really like to use throughout my level, actually kind of serves multiple purposes, are these torches. These torches both highlight areas of importance, help guide you towards your path, and kind of hint at areas that you might be exploring in the future that you might not be able to reach right at this moment, but you know you can get there. I kind of mentioned the leaf walls before, areas where the player can climb. I've tried to highlight um, where it makes sense with these leaf walls, clinging to the edges where the player can also cling to them. I iterated on this hallway often. I actually kind of changed it back to more of how I originally had it in my block mesh. In the block mesh, I had these little shrine things, and then I ended up breaking them for a different version, and then in this version, I built them back again because I liked the way the assets looked. Um, let's see. I try to use light a lot and kind of these directional lines, like here at the glass, where it's kind of pointing you towards this space you're going to see in the future, and you can see the torch there, like I mentioned as well. Here, you can the little light of the chest catches your eye, and you have a lot of places where, again, you see the torches just to draw your eye to important areas, and especially in this room where in a minute here you're going to see the light shining through the window. Perfect angle for the sun, just to kind of create this space that feels, I don't know, maybe spiritual in some kind of way. One thing I tried to kind of convey with the design of this temple here was how the a lot of the elements kind of clash with one another. The idea being that you have this older temple, this older architecture on one level, and then someone else, some other civilization maybe, kind of came and built on top of it. So the top layer looks a bit different. Down here, we start to see more of the water. Water becomes a bit more important in the cave system that comes up next. Um, that the idea of using water was kind of inspired by a talk I remember seeing for Skyrim way back, I think before it came out, where the developers mentioned using water or streams inside of caves to kind of guide the player towards their goal. And so I wanted to pay homage to and kind of revitalize that idea by using this flowing water to show you the path that you're going to get to. But well, right here your way is blocked, so you have to find another way around. And this is something I tried to do a lot of as well. The path that you need to take may not be the most obvious or the most direct. You can usually see where you're going to go long before you get there, and you have to work your way around through some kind of detour. Here we do that again. You can see into the next room, but you can't quite reach it yet. This area here, the cave, is probably my favorite part. It was a lot of fun putting the water in, trying to make it look good, building the cave walls around it, and using all the rocks to really bring out these more like natural and organic shapes, as opposed to the really hard, rigid, and geometric shapes of the structures above. Okay, that's something I might need to improve on a little bit more, actually, is some of the jumps. I was going to say a lot of the jumps in this section have been improved, where I had playtesters getting stuck on a few of them before, where they weren't able to climb up appropriately, getting stuck in a corner, but most of those have been rectified here. And I tried to leave areas where jumps aren't highlighted by leaves. I tried to make at least behave logically, look like a place that you could reasonably jump to. Let's see. I think that's about everything here. You can look back up to the temple, but that is going to bring us to the end of my level here. Onward through this little canyon, and next up we're going to be seeing the level of Zachary Burr. I'll hand it off to you, Zach.
After experiencing all of this natural terrain in the scientist's mansion, we are about to enter a city desolated by a cosmological event. I am level designer Austin Murphy, and welcome to Lemurfra City. The skyscrapers are immediate landmarks to tell the player to kind of explore forward and to the right, as well as the truck blocking the way and pointing towards the front and back door of this convenience store. Here we'll see our first valve, being that the door does not open from the back side, as it is supposed to be broken. To the left, we see a fence. The triangular designs encourage the player to not interact with it, as they cannot jump over it, and thus must go to the opposite side. Here on the street, we're going to see 3 different vehicles, all pointing subtly more and more towards the window at this next building. The greenery, changing up the scenery, also gradually points your eyes up to the window if the vehicles were not enough to encourage the looking. In the hotel, it is designed to be of a cheaper variety where there's just enough to kind of get everything working, but the broken doors already entail even more desolation and how this place has been completely abandoned. You naturally want to go down and see that the elevator, while open, is, unable to be exited, encouraging the player to go out and putting into the back of the player's mind that up is the solution. Being that there's no way through, and looking further, you see the boards of the other side pointing upwards, you would be encouraged to eventually look up to go into the penthouse. Here's a slightly more fleshed out area, as it's supposed to be a bit more of a richer space, and it allows the player to explore and get a bigger feel of the environment. But the big selling point being the hole in the ceiling from the event previous, encouraging the player to then eventually interact with it and go down, potentially perishing as it is a far enough drop, but easily surpassed if you are, smart enough. This little crater having a meteorite to kind of explain to the player what has happened, why there's suddenly stuff everywhere and holes, and showing how bad it was, being that there is an entire plane crash. Here on the dock, we see a very seemingly out of place wet floor sign, the yellow catching the player's eye to look at it, to get close to the boat, to know that that's the solution forward, and also pointing both towards the solution to the boat's inactivity, as well as the boat solving the way out. Grabbing the boat key from the lit up room, you are now able to interact with the boat and leave the glorious Lemurfra City. As I said, my name was Austin Murphy, and I hand it off to Jennifer Hanemichael.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Hanemichael, and I am the level designer of this next area you'll be looking at. My level is a island that you are stuck on, and you can see a castle in the distance, and you cannot walk into the water or you will drown. No matter which area you try to get into the water, it will have the same fate no matter what. Throughout my level, my target theme was an abandoned island with an old abandoned medieval castle. What inspired me was Tomb Raider and The Lord of the Rings. The broken pathways I have that lead up to the castle is a way to direct my player to which way they should go. Also, the rock wall, I made some changes so that there was no bugs ported as suggested. Also fixed some trees stuff in the beginning. Even the water underneath the castle bridge will kill you if you jump in, so you don't think you can try to escape the wrath of drowning. I worked on the trees as suggested, lessening them up different sizes and spread them throughout. I wanted it to look overgrown in the area because it's been abandoned and untouched by man for a long time. My castle is kind of broken down and walls are coming off and breaking. I wanted to see the wear and tear of over time, and you could see the damage that has been come either from an attack that the castle has faced or from just regular damage. I wanted the damage to also show on the inside of the castle. I wanted the player to look for keys so that they would want to explore my castle more and see all the detail and work I have put into my castle. I am very proud of this castle and the secret passageway in the throne room, which you'll see here soon. When I was working on my stairs, I wanted it to direct the player to go up top and then to see the cracks in the wall and to get a glimpse of what is on the other side, but yet not able to see or reach it yet. Encouraging them to keep moving forward to find the way through to the other side. In my throne room, you have the thrones and you have the decorations showing that I put in to my props. I also have an area with like medieval tortures, and I have a meeting area and weapons and other flags and barrels that have storage from leftover. You notice there's a different wall on the back. You go up to it and you notice that that is the secret passageway. It comes out and moves out nice and smooth, showing that even though it's old, it still works, but yet not too fast, not too slow. Going down the paths, you'll start seeing more walls and bigger cracks in the walls, showing the damage of what things can happen over time as things grow old and weak without the maintenance and care that they need. I wanted to get some pop of color to like brighten the area with the flags, but yet also kind of like hiding and making it a little bit darker inside, so not too much brightness. You see in the distance that there is a lighthouse and a waterfall. This area is an abandoned village and it has become overgrown and trees and bricks have started breaking off the buildings. I wanted to make it so that the player cannot jump up onto the tops, so that they cannot jump out of the level, or so that they just skip the area completely. I wanted to block off the path with some rocks in different sizes and shapes and different textures. This is the passage through to the lodge, which is the next area. Why don't you kick back and stay a while? Yeah.